Thelma Adams, and we're here to welcome you to the Fault in the Stars press conference. We're live, and we're with the cast and creative crew, the writer and director of this fabulous movie. And we're going to be live streaming on Yahoo Movies and Tumblr. And we're very excited that this Q&A is happening. And we can't wait to answer all your questions, whether you're at home or here, the press and the audience. And we want to thank the press and the people at home and for joining us. And I'd also like to say that even though I can hear the cast waiting in the wings, excited to come out, we're going to show a short 1-minute clip behind the scenes, the making of the movie. Thanks.
Have you ever had a moment where you were really starstruck? Hi, I'm John Green. I'm the author of the book, The Fault in Our Stars, and I'm here on the set of the movie. It's pretty great.
Had a great day today. Like, I got to hang out with Shailene and Ansel.
No! I do have hazel eyes.
You do?
Yeah.
That's why they cast you, I assume.
It is. There's
like...
so many girls with blue eyes, and they're like, well, they're better, but we need a girl with hazel eyes.
Your two faces are making a heart shape. It's super cute.
There's a lot of people asking if what they call Johnsel is going to be a thing.
Yeah, I think it's already.
I think it's a thing.
It's just absolutely wonderful to watch all of these people working together.
We just have so much fun.
Laura is now practicing her fake shaving on this disembodied head.
Awkward panda.
Yeah. This experience has been truly once in a lifetime, and it's been one of the greatest thrills of my professional life.
And now, the moment we've been waiting for, we're going to bring the cast on. And I just want to say that even in the green room, they were hugging each other and high-fiving and happy to be together. And it continues now with us. Sam Trammell. Dad. Come and sit by me. John Green, the writer. And possibly the biggest star on the stage.
Not possible.
And truly. Ansel Elgort. Shailene Woodley. Can we call you Shay?
Yeah, totally.
Laura Dern, who plays her mother. Nat Wolff. Isaac. Yeah. And Josh Boone, the director.
We're booning. We're not
We're
booning.
booning. Oh, you're booning. Okay. Okay, so we have a crowd full of press here and an audience watching on Yahoo Movies and Tumblr.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
How's it?
Hello, the globe. Anyway, and we have a lot of questions, but I'm going to begin with this. Like, everybody agreed. We all cried. I cried watching the movie. But what I want to know is who cried the most on set?
John
Green.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's on there.
Yeah? He's over here.
John Green, everybody. Yeah, no, definitely me. I cried a lot. I cried almost every day.
And were you bullied or
similarly sized shoes?
Interesting things you learn on the press tour.
No, I cried because it was so overwhelming to me that all of these really talented people were bringing so much passion and so much talent to the story that I'd written and like giving it a new life. Like I feel like Josh and the people who made the movie like really honored my book, and that's I think a pretty rare feeling, frankly, for an author to have when a book is being adapted into a movie. So I was just kind of overwhelmed with gratitude the whole time. Plus, there are some sad parts.
Really?
Yeah, and
I thought it was a black comedy. Oh no!
It is a little bit. I mean, there are a lot of funny parts too, but even the funny parts would make me cry.
That's right. My favorite kind of movies that make you laugh and cry.
Yeah.
Because they really touch you deeply. Now we're going to go to a press question. Who do we have in the press who's asking the first question? Okay, right here. Right. Come on down. No, stand up, please.
Just break dance for like 2 seconds.
I don't even know if I can. Okay, so one of the taglines of the movie is that it's one sick love story. And I think one of the motivations behind making the movie is to reinvent the cancer movie genre. So how do you think the movie does this?
Ooh. Reinvent the
Why you guys all
cancer
looking
movie genre. Ansel?
Well, I think that the tagline is is sort of like, it's sort of cheeky, and it's sort of like thrown away, and it's almost like insensitive.
You'll also notice that the tagline is not on the newest movie posters. So, but yeah, I mean, I think Shailene. I think here's what I think everybody wanted to do. What I wanted to do with the book. What I think they wanted to do with the movie. We wanted to tell a story about people living with serious illness, living with disabilities, but show that people who are very sick are not fundamentally other from the healthy. Like, it's not like they're less human than anyone else. They can have all of the love and joy and anger and passion as any other life. And to try to show people where disability is a big part of their life, but it's not the only identifying thing about them, to try to show the full humor and pathos of being alive, even if you're very sick. And I mean, I don't know if that reinvents the genre, but that's what I like about this story.
I also think it's, oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I love how you have the characters, like, not deify the disease and kind of disrespect it in a way and make fun of the disease. And you know what I mean? Like, kind of that irreverence that you guys have, that kind of voice, feels different to me as far as what I've seen in movies.
It deflates it.
Kind of
Makes it not melodramatic.
Yeah.
And who hasn't lived with someone with cancer? I mean, we've all been through it at some point, one way or another, and there's a lot of laughter and a lot of eating donuts in between the parts that are difficult.
And
we have a question now.
Josh?
From one of our, pardon me, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say we met a lot of kids living with cancer, and I think the thing that validated that book for me the most was how similar they were to those characters and how funny and cynical and, you know, philosophical they were. I mean, they really were very close to the characters John wrote in the book, so it was very, very validating.
Excellent. Should we go to a Tumblr question? Okay, Run with Skizzers. I don't make these names up. Ask Shailene and Ansel, what scene are you the most excited to see on the big screen?
We've already seen those scenes on the big screen.
So what was the
best? Yeah.
What popped?
You know what scene I actually really love? We've said this before, but was the love scene, because it's, to me, very different than most love scenes in quote-unquote young adult films. It's treated with integrity, and I think oftentimes, you know, our society looks at teenagers and sort of discredits their love, or they say, oh, it's cute, it's puppy love, like they don't know what real love is. And then you look at adults and you're like, are you actually happy? You know,
is this real love?
Is this real love? Because if that's a real love, that's not what I want. And you look at, you know, younger people who are in love, and the older we get, the more in our heads we get, and we're not really available for others as much. And when you're younger, that love is so pure. And also, teenagers are incredibly passionate. And I love that in their intimate scene, they're passionate with one another, and they're a little bit awkward and a little bit uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable, not too awkward. And I just thought it was handled with such care, and the way that, Josh, you decided to film it, and the lighting that our cinematographer, Ben Richardson, it was just, I thought it was really special and unique.
That's my favorite scene in the movie, too, and I love the Egan scene.
Yeah.
Mr. Wolf.
Yeah. I love all the Amsterdam stuff so much. Like, I feel like the movie's really building to that, and it's the first place where when Augustus tells Hazel that he is in love with her. Yeah. And I really love the way that scene came out, and it's just like so magical, the whole Amsterdam experience. Like, they really needed Amsterdam. Like, it's like the payoff. And then they go back to
spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I have to do that all the time.
I'm gonna do this. So, I know. So let me ask you one more question, and then we're going to go to the press. But coming off of this, you know, people call it a young adult love story. To me, it's just a love story, kind of coming. And for me, growing up, this love story would have been Love Story with Ali MacGraw and Ryan O'Neal. It seems to me that every generation has that kind of love story. Question, do you agree? Laura?
Well, you know, something Sam and I have been talking about a lot today is how John gives us an opportunity to collectively share as moviegoers and certainly, obviously, first as readers, this experience of what it is to love. And each of us come in with our own experience of love and the fact that there is bravery to love because there is inevitably an end game in life. And how do we navigate through that with great bravery. And so I'm so moved by their love story, and it does redefine as the great love story to me in literature and in movies. But also, there's a parallel love story which you don't see, which is the love of your child and the love of your parents. And that equally, these parents worry about giving everything to their child, but the child's so worried about the parents being okay. So love is redefined, and to see a friendship between two young men like this is unparalleled. So it's a love
There's a lot of
fest,
love.
like it is between us.
That is the other love story that I was a little bit conscious of when writing the book, but I think comes out really well in the movie. I think like Josh did a great job bringing it out, but I think Sam and Laura did a great job bringing it out, which is the love between these two parents who have a tremendous obstacle in their love because they have this sick kid, but they hold on to each other. They find a way through it. And that was very moving to me watching the movie. Like, as a parent, that's what really got me watching the movie.
Me too. We're going to go to another press question. Hi.
Besides the great love story, what also inspires people about this story is that it's about pursuing a dream, not giving up, and having the dream in some ways turn out differently than you thought it would be. And I'd really like to hear the casting story about Shailene, because in a way you didn't give up on this role. What was the scene that you read that convinced Josh to give you this role? Because there's been a lot of interviews where you said you weren't sure if she was right for it at first.
She did the eulogy scene. I mean, I loved her. I thought she was an amazing actress, but I was just like, she wasn't 16. It just was, I mean, I saw a lot of people, but when she actually did her audition and did that eulogy scene, the first thing I thought after like maybe a minute and a half was, why did I make this so hard on myself? Because we saw so many people. And she was absolutely, hands down, I knew within 2 minutes. And as soon as she left the room, it's like, all right, get on the phone, let's do it. So, yeah, she just killed us.
You have to talk into the mic, please. Okay.
In what ways did this experience, any of the people involved in the movie can answer this, did it turn out better for you? Because this is a dream come true for a lot of people.
Nat, can we pull a question, an answer out of you?
No. No, just kidding. Sorry, what was it? What did it say again?
Did it turn out better than you expected?
Yeah, I mean, the thing...
Thank you, John.
I mean, what John and I have been talking about today is that obviously we wanted to be as faithful to the book, and that the book was kind of already like a movie in some ways. It was so cinematic as a book. But then also we just wanted to make a good movie that stands alone, without, even if you haven't read the book, that it's a good movie. And I'm just so proud to be in this, on this panel with this talented group of people.
It's a great crew. Okay, we're going to go with a Tumblr question.
Hi, Tumblr.
Hi, Tumblr. What stays and what fades, asks everyone. If you could sit and chat over pizza with one character, who would it be?
Peter Van Houten for me.
Sisyphus the hamster?
So crazy.
Sisyphus the hamster.
As long as it's Defoe.
And his mom.
And his mom.
John?
Oh, for me, it would definitely be Hazel. Yeah, it would definitely be Hazel. But like, one of the great pleasures of making this movie is that I feel like on multiple occasions I did get to have dinner with all the characters in the story. I mean, that was so magical to me to get to watch all of these people become the people I'd imagined. It was really special.
Anybody else? Hazel talking to Hazel?
Yeah, I actually probably, I feel like I resonate more with, when I was Hazel and Gus's age, more with Gus, in the sense of I always felt like there was something to do in the world, or how am I going to change the world, or what am I going to, like, what's my mission going to be, or my this or my that. And I think that's a very common theme when you're that age of like trying to figure out who you are and what you're going to do with your life to be remembered and to be important. And I was so moved by Hazel and her ability to recognize at such a young age that it's not about that. I mean, she's the least narcissistic person I've ever met in my life. which is why maybe she doesn't actually exist. But,
Good point.
but I would love to sit down and have a little conversation.
I think I want to sit down with my girlfriend who dumps me and say, "What the hell?"
Yeah, I want to be.
Yeah.
We all want to talk to her.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some spoilers that might have hurt that
That's all right.
relationship.
That's in the first
but I
like
will, you know.
17 pages. That's okay. I think.
Yeah.
So maybe feeling her up in the parking lot was not like something that she wanted to go forward on. You know?
Yeah, I mean, judging from that makeout scene, Nat, I know why she dumped you.
I hate to say it.
Yeah.
Lesson learned. Okay, and we're going to go to another press question.
Hi, this is Christine from Belgium. Can you talk a little bit about shooting in Amsterdam, and what did you guys do when you guys were off? And did you have time to go to Belgium at all?
No, we were almost never off. I think we really only had one free day where we weren't shooting at the very, very end. So we were, I mean, it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, we didn't have a lot of free time. We didn't go to Belgium.
We had a really great dinner. We had an amazing, amazing dinner at the restaurant De Casse, and we got to, eat, but that was about it. I've been to Belgium many times because when I was writing The Fault in Our Stars, I lived for a while in Amsterdam, and I frequently took the train to Antwerp or Brussels because I like to write on trains, and it's a lovely country.
It's pretty magical.
Yeah, I loved Amsterdam so much.
It didn't rain the whole time.
Yeah, I mean,
There's something romantic about the rain, when you're like cuddled up together and it's foggy, and fog sort of like wakes you up slowly, and so there's this sort of romantic nature to the time we spent
like
there.
less people are outside, like the city feels more yours. I mean, like as Hazel and Augustus, we rode in a boat down the canals, and there's a scene of us looking around and just taking in the city, and that was a really amazing moment for me. Just like there, arm around Shailene, like one of my really good friends, and it was one of the last days of shooting, actually, and it was just such an amazing moment to think this is where this journey has taken me. Now I'm in Amsterdam going down a canal with Shailene, and this amazing experience is almost over, and I can't wait to go back to Amsterdam. Such a magical place.
They have great pancakes, too.
John, where did we go where we had to walk through the rain? We walked through the rain. We were going to go meet you at a museum.
Oh yeah, we went to the Stedelijk, the Modern Art Museum, Contemporary Art Museum.
Pouring down.
And it was just pouring rain. And then in the end, like it took them too long to get there because the rain was so bad and no one got to see any art.
But he took me to a great bookstore.
Yeah,
But you remember the rain, so it was the walk in the rain that you did.
No. Yeah. It was a long walk.
Yeah, he's pissed about it still. Yeah.
So could the cast talk about how it was like, what was it like trying to be in that really hard place? Because there were a lot of hard scenes that you guys had to shoot. So what was it like being in that place? And also as the director, what was it like seeing all of these characters come together and these people having to be in such a hard place?
Because it's really about, one of the themes of the book is that you can't escape pain. You have to face pain head on.
It demands to be.
So, Laura, you just pained
much
better, well written.
Well, I have to say, my favorite memory on a movie of walking through the emotional journey of a character would be that we'd have this catharsis or ride each day. And most often, at the end of our work, we'd walk away from the camera towards the monitor, and there would be John Green with open arms embracing us. And so,
crying,
weeping so much harder than we were, or laughing, but such love and such a fierce champion of all of us that it kind of brought us back in and out of this experience, and then we'd end our evenings at beautiful dinners, all of us together.
This was a really special group, and we really clicked and hung out a lot off set, and that really helped. Because we had some really, really heavy scenes, and my character was always written that he's crying. So I remember every time I get to set, Josh would be like, "Well, it looks like you're gonna be crying again." I'm like, "Oh yeah, the pressure." So they were really heavy, but yeah, there was this buoyancy that Mr. John Green brought, as a cheerleader, that helped us, and then we got to let off some steam, just hanging out and having a lot of dinners together, which helped out.
And I remember being, I think my favorite memory was the first time I showed you, John, a scene in the movie. On my iPad, I showed you the egging scene on set.
Yeah.
And he laughed and laughed, and then he cried at the end, and I was like, it just made me really happy. It's like that he was happy made us all really happy, I think, every day.
I was like one of the only days I wasn't there, and Nat improvised that amazing line, "Do I smell eggs?"
And it's so exhilarating.
And so I wasn't expecting that, so I laughed out loud, like as I would when you tell a joke, you know? Like it felt like that. It felt like, oh, that's my friend.
Also, when Nat improvised, I'm blind, but I'm not deaf.
Yeah.
Please, I can hear you when you make fun of my disability.
And I don't love it. I don't love it when you make fun of my disability. I thought that was such a great line.
It's the best
Oh,
line.
it's so Isaac.
Good.
Yeah, he's a great improviser. Some of my favorite stuff in my first movie is him improvising. He's just quite good at it.
Yeah, I paid them all. I paid them all to say all this stuff.
I probably cried and laughed the most during those few months of my life, just because during the day I'd be crying my eyes out on set and like so emotional. And at night I'd be sitting in my apartment with Nat, crying of laughter because he would make the most absurd joke ever, or we'd be at dinner and he'd just make a joke, and I think one night went underneath the dinner table to compose myself because I was laughing so hard, and the restaurant was like very, like, I think a little bit disturbed. That's what Nat Wolff will do to you.
Are you a natural crier? Do you like?
I am now, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like a muscle.
Question from the press.
Hi. Shailene, so Ansel has now played your brother and your boyfriend. Is that weird at all, the transition, and which was better and why?
Wasn't that weird? Because I've always sort of wondered what it would be like kissing my brother.
That's the takeaway quote of the press conference.
By the way, that's the first time we've ever been asked that question.
That's the first time you've probably answered that.
No, you know what? I mean, that's sort of the beauty of being an actor is you get to explore different relationships and different, not only like colors of yourself, but how you exist with different people. And there's something really beautiful about working with someone and working with them again and again and again, because the more you get to know somebody on a personal level, the more free you feel artistically. So I think that if Ansel and I hadn't known each other from Divergent, our relationship in this movie would not be what it is, because we didn't have to go through the rehearsal phase of getting to know one another and feeling comfortable with one another. And also, when you love someone a lot, we tend to like push them away, or communication isn't as strong. And we were very honest with each other throughout the movies and throughout this process. And there'd be times when we would disagree, and if we didn't know each other, we might not say that we disagreed, you know, because there's sort of that politeness, versus we were very open with one another when something wasn't going the way that we had envisioned or whatnot. So it completely lent to these characters, and I guess that I'm one of those people that's like, everything's meant to be, and thank God we were brother and sister, and now we get to spend the next 4 years together, which is pretty friggin' rad.
What are you guys doing?
What are you guys up to?
It's this experimental documentary.
I'm going to take a question from Tumblr. Lady Lightning Life has a question for John. Which scene do you feel turned out most how you'd visualized it when you wrote it?
There are so many that felt like when I first saw Hazel's house, I was like, wow, that's weird. That's like Hazel's house. You know, like the production designer, Molly Hughes, had an amazing, like her memory or her imagination and my imagination must be linked somehow. She just did a great job with all that stuff. I guess the one scene that stands out for me, and this I have to say this without spoilers, is or two, I have to say two. The scene at the gas station with Shay and Ansel, it was just, it was everything I hoped for, you know. In some ways, like even, it was exactly what I was trying to do emotionally. It felt that way when I was watching it. And the other is also a scene toward the end of the movie with Hazel and her parents, where she really has to confront her parents about the seriousness of the situation that she's in, and wants to get really real with them and really honest about it and raw. And she's almost angry that they you know, kind of refuse to see what she sees as reality. And I just thought that was so beautifully done. And even watching it last night, yeah, I just felt very grateful for them for doing that so well.
It's really down to the bone, Matt. We have another question from the press.
This is for the director. What makes Ansel such a great leading man? Like, what did you see in him that caught your eye? And for Shailene, what is your favorite personality trait of his?
Oh, yeah.
For me, I mean, I just thought he had like a beautiful purity to him. He hadn't seen himself in a movie when he came to audition for us. I just think he was so unaware of how wonderful he was. And I mean, it's purity more than anything else. It's like Gus is such a difficult character to find in an actor. It's so many different elements. There's like the intelligence, the sensitivity, the aloofness, but it's also like a little bit of goofiness. And like to have one guy who can embody all that, I didn't know if we'd ever find him. So, I mean, you know, he came in to read with her, and we were all like, he's playing her brother and diverting. But he came in, and he was fantastic. And I think you were even surprised, Shay, weren't you, when you came in an audition? Were you even expecting it to be that, you know?
No, I definitely. I mean, because of the Divergent thing, I think I was like, oh, wow, we're reading together? Mm-hmm. The fact that 2 studios would even allow that to happen, you know, it is just very rare. Mm-hmm. But it was very obvious and apparent. My favorite, I mean, I have so many favorite things about Ansel, but one of my favorite things is that when Ansel, I feel like every single day looks at the world with a new set of eyes, like, wow, there's a world out there, and what am I going to taste today or experience or laugh with or find out about or learn or teach. He's the most creative person I've ever met. Can I say what you do? I mean, this dude is not only a DJ. I'm so out of the loop with his house music.
He's like an EDM musician.
Yeah.
Producer.
Okay, producer. But he's one of the most, he's an amazing pianist. He paints miniatures and wins contests painting miniatures, which is insane.
Ballet dancer.
He is literally the most creative person.
It's like being a Marine, man. Once a ballet dancer, always a ballet dancer.
He won't make you get up and do 5th position, which is what they usually make people do.
Everything she's saying.
That's
You're
cool.
right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just constantly inspired by him.
I like the way he blushes when Shailene compliments him.
It's going there. Okay, we have a question here from a member of the press.
Hi, Marco from Italy. It's for Josh. I would like to know what are the main challenges you had to go through in the process of shooting the movie? There's a lot of expectation that comes with all the success that the book is having.
I mean, I don't know what you mean. It's like the fan base is huge and rabid, and like you do worry that they're gonna like throw tomatoes at you and tell you ruined it. But I mean, it was John being happy is what made me feel confident that the movie would make fans happy. I mean, there's lots of challenges when you make any movie. They each have their own unique set of challenges. So I don't know. It was mostly a wonderful, wonderful experience. So we just all got along and had a great time, and it was kind of great.
Another question here. Thank you.
Most of us had the experience of watching this movie alongside all your fans last night. So I just wanted to know how that experience has been for you guys, with people screaming at you and yelling at you and loving the characters, and you have kind of a lot of pressure on yourselves to deliver to them. So what's that been like for you guys?
Well, like, adding on to what Josh just said, like last night, we came and we surprised the first ever fan screening of Fault in Our Stars, and we did a Q&A. And when we walked in the theater, they all started freaking out and screaming, and they were so happy, and like they wouldn't have done that if the movie was bad. Like they're there lining up because they're huge fans of The Fault in Our Stars, the book, and they're probably a large percentage of nerd fighters there, and they are honest with themselves, and they're intelligent people, and if the movie was bad, they would throw tomatoes at us or throw eggs at us, and they would not be screaming. So it was such a relief last night, such a reward to walk in there and just like see them embrace us and be so happy. And I could feel their relief too, that something that they were so protective over has become a movie that I think is very, very good.
And I feel like the bravery of what John writes about and the ferocity for these characters is matched by their commitment to take a collective experience, which is watching a film together, and feel everything in such an enormous way. There wasn't one moment that anyone was going to be proper or hold back, or they were advocates of this story and they were going to feel all of it, and we got caught in the wave of that. I feel like everybody started weeping together.
A few of us snuck in. I don't think you were there, Ansel, but a few of us snuck in and saw the last 10 minutes with everybody else, and we were just kind of blown away by the outward emotion that was happening. I've never heard anything like it, and I mean, I'm kind of astounded.
And it kind of broke out on Tumblr, on the Twitter sphere. There were all sorts of people just raving about the movie, taking your answers and sending them out immediately. And we have one last, this is going to be our last question, and then we're going to wrap it up, okay? Thank you so much.
So how has this beautiful movie changed your sense of compassion? Because it's all about, for me, compassion.
That's a great
and
question.
Also, thank you. And how has your bucket list changed after doing this movie?
I'm flat out of items on my bucket list.
You've been to Belgium.
Yeah, I've been to Belgium, and I've had this amazing experience with these people I care about so much, and yeah, I'm good. I mean, I'd like to live a long life and see my. I guess now it's all personal stuff. Like I want to see my kids get married, or not if they don't want to get married. I want to see them live fulfilling lives, yeah, that's it. But it's personal stuff. I mean, professionally, I'm good.
Anybody else have an answer to this one? Sam?
Well, what I love about this story is that the kids, the teenagers, have as much compassion for their parents as we do for them. And while we're worried about, Hazel and how she's going to do, she's just as worried about us. And I have two little boys, and it's just interesting to think about the two-way street. Of course, you know they love you, but you don't think about the level of compassion and concern. And I love that Hazel is kind of holding things in as we are holding things in, trying to make lives as good for each other as can be.
I have a 3-year-old, so yeah, very similar. It's like you can look at them and like just cry on cue just by looking at their face. I mean, they say empathy is the most important trait you can teach a child, and like John writes with such great empathy. I just love that all these people are reading his books and going to see the film and hopefully look at people with disabilities or people who are sick a little bit differently.
And as a parent, being empathetic is the best way to teach your kids empathy.
Absolutely.
I will tell. If I can tell a brief story about
Last
empathy.
story.
I threw up recently, and I have a 4-year-old son, and I threw up, and he ran away when I started to throw up, and I was like, oh, it's typical, nobody loves me, and he ran back into the room with his blanket, and he handed it to me, and I was like, wow, that really helps me to understand that this small creature is also capable of caring for others. And like so often we dismiss teenagers as being self-indulgent or so self-involved that they never think about others. But like I think the truth is a lot more complicated. I think the truth of adolescence is that, obviously you are alive to this vast reality that's happening inside of you and that you're just becoming aware of as a separate being. But like you are also alive to the vastness of the world outside of you. That's what I think, that's my favorite thing about the movie.
Well, that's all the time we have today. I want to thank you so much. I want to thank the cast. I want to thank the press. I want to thank those people who are out watching on Yahoo Movies and Tumblr. We all had a lot of fun. Not as many tears as I thought. And don't forget to see the movie when it opens on June 6th. And one last thing. John has an exciting announcement for all you Tumblr fans.
I did not bring you cake. I'm sorry.
No
Next
cake.
time. All right. So on Tumblr, all of the Tumblr people voted in the Demand Our Stars contest to find out where Shailene and Nat and Ansel and myself are going to go on tour, and so you can see us in person and ask us questions. We are going to Miami on May 6th.
Miami!
May 6th. May 6th at the Cobb Dolphin Mall. The doors open for all of these. The doors open at 5. The show, I guess, will start at like about 6:30. But doors open at 5. May 7th, we will be in Cleveland. I am excited to go to Cleveland. I love Ohio. At the Tower City Center. May 7th, the Tower City Center in Cleveland. May 8th, Nashville. Beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee at the War Memorial Auditorium. I don't know which war we are memorializing, but we will memorialize it appropriately. It's the War Memorial Auditorium at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center, May 8th in Nashville. Doors open at 5, show starts at 6:30. And then lastly, on May 9th, Dallas, Texas, the South Side Ballroom at either Gillies or Jillies. I apologize, people of Dallas. I do not know if Gillies? Hard G, Gillies. May 9th, South Side Ballroom at Gillies. I'm not sure I trust Laura. Could be Jillies.
And now we have to say goodbye. Thank you all. And thank you. And thank you. Thank you very much.